Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Narayana Montufar. I am an astrologer, artist, and author who finds inspiration in the symbolic language of astrology. I offer readings on my website, astrology, Akashic, and Egyptian readings that you can book. Or if you want to support my work, my second book, Written in Your Stars, is now available for purchase. And you can find the link down below in the description to support my work if you feel like it. This week, I am here to give you an update regarding the astrology of the week of February 24th to March 2nd. Last week, I spoke about the ending of retrograde of Mars, which involved a deep transformation regarding our desires, our inner fire, or what drives us to chase our goals. I spoke about how this transformation was epic at both a collective and at a personal level since Mars was retrograde since December 6th. And so Mars going direct now is a really good thing, but it is still supercharged in the sky. I spoke about when a planet changes speeds, it just kind of takes over the reins of the entire sky. So it's really important to keep this in mind. Like there's still kind of like a transformation of our masculine energy taking place. So you might feel that intensity at the beginning of the week still, especially on Monday, which puts the moon in Capricorn, activating Mars. So you might not get the most restful of sleeps because um, the astrology as we move from Sunday to Monday is kind of intense. So hopefully you don't have a lot, like a huge to-do list on Monday, or perhaps you are going to be able to give yourself breaks because the astrology on Monday looks busy and a little intense. The moon enters Aquarius Monday night, but it will stay in Aquarius Tuesday and Wednesday, and the serious vibe kind of prevails. Remember that last week I spoke how the sun is in Pisces now with a lot of other planets, and so we're kind of like, ooh, feeling those woo-woo vibes, and we're kind of distracted and we want to rest and we want to flow. I spoke about how maybe even this is a good time to take vacation, but if you're not on vacation, you probably have stuff to do. The moon puts us in a pensive mood on Tuesday. It's in Aquarius, it is activating Pluto, the planet of the future, and especially after the big transformation that we are wrapping up that started in December of 2024. Well, we're thinking really deeply about a certain situation, our jobs, our lives, something serious, what's coming into the future, what am I going to do in the new era? So you're serious. You're serious. You're feeling serious on Tuesday. And the truth is that a lot of things might be materializing. Mercury meets with Saturn, so a lot of things are starting to move forward this week. The energy is towards that. Like Saturn materializes things, and with Mercury activating Saturn, you might have some work to do. You might have to stay focused. And so it's really important that you avoid distractions in the case that you have a really long to-do list, because it's possible that a lot of things are starting to move forward, or that you have big meetings with authority figures around that time. We're also coming to the dark moon phase. So the dark moon phase is 2 days before the new moon every single month. When the moon is having no light in the sky, you go out and you don't see the moon. So that dark moon phase is Tuesday and Wednesday during the time that the moon will be in Aquarius. So besides of being focused and serious about something, you're also feeling kind of tired, like the Pisces energy and the dark moon phase. The dark moon phase is a time to rest, recuperate your energies. It's a time to think about everything that has been occurring in your life for the past month. And it's a time of release. We come up after the full moon, of course, that happened on February 12th. So we're still releasing things because we have a new moon this week. And I like this new moon. We're in between retrogrades right now because Mars went direct and Venus goes retrograde on March 1st. I'm going to talk about that next, and you want to listen to this. Trust me. But while we're in the dark moon phase Tuesday and Wednesday, we want to rest. We want to recuperate our energies. We want to figure out what no longer feels right, what you don't want to bring with you into the next lunar cycle. So give yourself time to be alone, channel your inner witch. This is the dark moon goddess time of the month that is still very transformative. On Thursday, February 27th at 4:44 p.m. Pacific time, we have the new moon in Pisces. The sun and the moon kiss at 9 degrees of Pisces, actually. This is really interesting because we have the new moon at 9 degrees of Pisces. The numerology of 27 adds to number 9, which is the numerology of 2025, which is a year of completions, of endings, and soon new beginnings. But we're like wrapping up a lot of cycles. Remember, I have a video about the astrology of 2025. So I recommend you watch it on my YouTube channel. But this new moon in Pisces feels positive. Even though we're between retrogrades, I really like it because it is forming a square with Jupiter, the planet of luck, abundance, and protection. And Jupiter is really connected to Pisces. So it is a new moon to expand, to grow, to set intentions about really big things in your life. It might not necessarily be that great for a really specific type of work, but it is a really new moon to set intentions around how you want to see the world, your life philosophy. What are the energies that you're leaving behind to welcome new ones? Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It is a sign that brings creativity, and it brings kind of like a tribe mentality as well, that reminding us that we are all one. And this is a this is a philosophical new moon. That is what I am trying to say. Pisces is a philosophical sign that asks all the weirdest questions or all the mystical, mysterious questions. And the connection to Jupiter, which is actually in Gemini, makes it even more philosophical. We want to talk, we maybe even too much. We want to explore ideas, we want to explore the world. And this is a really new moon for setting intentions according to the house in your chart that is ruled by Pisces. Take a look at 9 degrees of Pisces. What house is that for you? And I invite you to set intentions around that. I think that this new moon is really positive because we have so many alignments in Pisces. And even though they're not going to be there, the alignments that are happening at the end of Pisces, it feels like it is a good time to believe in positivity. This week is really important that you stay positive, cultivating a positive mindset, being compassionate with yourself and others. I have been saying this because this is one of the key astrological signatures of 2025: compassion and flow and creativity. So this new moon, in my opinion, feels good. It is not forming any intense aspects with any other planet. It is going to meet with Saturn on Friday. And so if you start something, if you set an intention to begin something new, always new things come during new moons, because new moons are new beginnings, actually. New moons are when we're setting intentions to manifest things. So if you set intentions at this new moon, which is happening at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time, I invite you to follow up on that right away on the waxing moon on Monday. I mean, sorry, on Friday. I invite you to push down the pedal even more. Like if you said you're gonna, let's say, begin meditating, well, meditate double, because when Saturn is involved, Saturn means business. So you need to tell Saturn that you mean business, that you are serious about this. But the biggest astrological aspect of this week is Venus beginning its retrograde in the sign of Aries. Venus is the planet of pleasure, love, relationships, money, and social energy, like social interactions, friendships, anything that you do for pleasure, for fun, hanging out with friends, how you enjoy life. That is everything that Venus rules. And Venus is currently in Aries, a sign that it doesn't totally allow for easiness for this planet. It's a little intense. And when Venus goes retrograde, what we're doing is that we are reviewing. We begin a period of revision within our relationships. So between March 1st and April 12th, we are going to be making changes to the way we approach relationships. And this is not just romantic relationships. Romantic relationships are the first thing that we're reviewing, but we're also reviewing business partnerships, our friendships, anything that is social, as well as our relationship with money, because Venus rules money. Perhaps I'm too optimistic, but I think that this Venus retrograde can be good because Venus is initiating its retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. And 10 degrees of Aries are ruled, well, this place in the sky, 10 degrees of Aries, is ruled by Venus in the Egyptian terms. I work a lot with Egyptian cosmology, and this is a Venus ruled degree. So even though Venus is uncomfortable in Aries, Venus likes this specific place of Aries. So this is a transformation that can end up being very positive if we utilize it. So on Saturday, that Venus goes retrograde at around 4:36 p.m. Pacific time, it is a good time to ask yourself, what is the state of my relationships? Am I happy with how my relationships are? Do I need to balance things out? Do I need to express? And this is really interesting because Mars and Venus are the cosmic lovers. They were literally lovers in mythology. They're the two relationship planets, with Mars ruling sex and Venus ruling pleasure. And with both of them, with Mars going direct and Venus going in retrograde, definitely we are exploring our relationship to pleasure, whether that involves someone else or not. You might also be noticing that if you're not happy with the state of your relationships, it's because you haven't been perhaps diligent about that. Like, for example, if you haven't found love and that's a priority for you, have you been taking steps towards that. Because if you haven't, then you might realize that the reason why that is happening is because you haven't done anything about it. This is just a manifestation, by the way. The manifestations are endless. Like the retrograde of Mars, the retrograde of Venus is just as important. It affects everybody. These planets are very close to us. We are literally sitting in between Venus and Mars in in the solar system, which is really important, right? Masculine and feminine. When you think about how the battle between the sexes, or how you want to see it, or balancing masculine and feminine is so important in our lives. It is because we are literally sitting in between these planets. So I invite you to think about that. What is your relationship with both masculine and feminine energies? Or do you need a little bit more of masculine energy? Do you need a little bit of feminine energy? And all of that is in your birth chart, of course. That is a map to unlocking that. But that is going to be prominent this week as we sit in between retrogrades. I will be upgrading you regarding the astrology of Venus retrograde. This one looks pretty different than most because since there are a lot, most of the planets are in Pisces, not all of them, but a lot of them are in Pisces right now. Um, this retrograde feels like it might be at times fiery because Aries is a fire sign. It doesn't seem as eventful other than that, but I will be sharing with you my insights about how I see this retrograde panning out. But at the end of the day, it is about revisiting our relationships, our relationship with money as well, our relationship with pleasure. Do we have time in our lives to experience pleasure? Do we put effort in creating the relationships that we want to create? And all of those deep things are coming up this week. I will be back here next week and we will talk about the astrology of next week, which is less eventful. And I think that that's probably a good thing. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.